In 1975, a US scientist by the name Wallace Brocker put the term global warming into public domain via the title of a scientific paper he wrote. Today, global warming is happening, and with the painful realization that nobody is going to buy their way out of its effects, people all over the world are realizing that global warming can cause extreme weather and climate impacts, which may be worse this year as compared to last year. In South Sudan, the government has closed down all schools starting today indefinitely as it prepares for a wave of extreme heat expected to last 2 weeks. Parents were advised to keep their children indoors as temperatures could rocket up to 45 degrees Celsius or 113 Fahrenheit. A young nation that gained independence on the 9th of July 2011, South Sudan is particularly vulnerable to climate change, with common heat waves but rarely exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. Some have argued that the government could have facilitated the installation of electricity and provided air conditioners to schools, but this has come at the time the country faces a dire humanitarian crisis due to violence, political instability, and an influx of people fleeing the conflict in the neighboring Sudan. Sudan has been experiencing violence for the better part of a year now, following a disagreement of two powerful men, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and General Mohamed Hamdan Hemeti. When we talk Sudan, we cannot neglect its long history of military rule and military-backed coups. In 1958, Abdallah Khalil, fearing the tense standoff with Egypt under its second president Gamal Abdel Nasser Hussein, on the 10th of November 1958, carried out a military coup against his own government, putting it under military junta and appointing General Ibrahim Aboud to lead the new military government. Aboud would lead the military government, serving as head of state Sudan between 1958 and 1964 and president in 1964 before a non-violent popular uprising brought him down, ending Sudan's first military rule. After a 6-month transition, free elections were held, but due to divided parliament and shilpit leadership, the country was led astray. The second parliamentary era ended in May 1969 when Colonel Jafar Nimairi overthrew Ismail al-Azari. Nimairi ruled for 16 years until Abdel al-Dahab overthrew him and later installed a democratic government led by Sadiq al-Mahdi. However, this civilian era would not last long, as Brigadier Omar al-Bashir, in partnership with Muslim brothers, mounted a coup in June 1989. Al-Bashir ruled for 30 years. On 19th December 2019, a revolution sparked throughout Sudan. After living under Bashir's military rule, the civilians pushed back. They wanted one thing: democracy. Grabbing the opportunity, two of Bashir's most trusted security forces commanding officers, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, commander of the Sudanese Armed Forces alias SAFs, and General Mohammed Hamdan Hemeti of the Rapid Support Forces alias RSF, led a coup on the 11th of April 2019, removing Bashir and promising the people the future they demanded. They formed a transition council with Abdel Fattah al-Burhan as its chair and Hemeti as his deputy. They delivered on their promise and appointed the respected economist Abdallah Hamdok as the prime minister to run the country with the cooperation of the military for 3.5 years until elections. But this government would not last. Following constant interference by the military and a staged coup in October 2021, Abdallah Hamdok resigned in January 2022, making Abdel Fattah al-Burhan de facto leader of Sudan and Hemeti his second. On the 5th of December 2022, these men were pressured into signing another deal by the US, UK, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. This deal promised a new government by April 2023. These men would, however, disagree on one key factor that crosses out the ongoing violence as one propelled by personal gain. The RSF would become part of SAFs, and this would basically weaken Hemeti's power. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan proposed the adjustment to be done in 2 years, while Hemeti proposed 10. This would cause a drift between the two men that would propel violence in Sudan to date. Leading SAFs gives General Abdel an air force that is said to be responsible for a lot of the casualties, while Hemeti's money and influence allow him to buy and arm more and more militias on the ground.